WKOW. Here's what's happening right now.
Now on your news at 5:30, fighting the coronavirus outbreak. The actions that are expected on Capitol Hill today.
Race for the nomination, what major candidate is calling it quits, and what one may be close to throwing in the towel as well.
Abortion case in the Supreme Court. Why this may be the most serious challenge to abortion rights ever.
Peace deal in jeopardy. We'll tell you what seems to be unraveling the U.S.'s Afghanistan exit strategy.
We've got you covered. This is 27 News. Wake up, Wisconsin.
Good morning. Thank you so much for waking up with us. I'm Rebecca Reibling.
And I'm Nick Buffo. Today is Thursday, March 5th. We want to get straight to our top story this morning. California has declared a state of emergency because of the coronavirus outbreak. One person has died in California. It is now the 11th death in the U.S. from the virus. Here in Wisconsin, there is no longer any confirmed cases, but 6 people are currently being tested to see if they have it.
Happening today, the U.S. Senate is expected to pass a bill setting aside more than $8 billion to fight the coronavirus. The House passed it yesterday. The president is expected to sign the bill if it goes to his desk.
Also happening today, the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee will meet to discuss how the government is working to contain the spread of coronavirus. Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson is the head of that committee. Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz wore a gas mask during yesterday's House vote on emergency funding. Now, it is unclear what kind of statement Gaetz was trying to make, but he voted in favor of the bill.
27 News WKOW. Here's what's happening right now.
The Super Tuesday results are in. We'll break down what they mean for the Democratic Party.
And tornadoes devastate Tennessee. People are just now getting a glimpse at how much damage this storm has caused. Storm Track meteorologist Guy Brown explains what made this one so deadly.
Coronavirus outbreak, thousands killed by the virus, and the U.S. seeing more cases pop up. What medical professionals want the government to do better.
And a local shelter pulls off one of its biggest animal rescues ever. All that and more coming up on Wake Up Wisconsin.
People were crying and screaming. I mean, we didn't know what was going on.
It sounded like a freight train come through.
The windows had been blown out, the doors had been blown open, and our neighbor had been ejected from his back house apartment back there into our yard.
Tennessee is just now starting to understand the full extent of the damage caused by a handful of deadly tornadoes yesterday. Parts of Nashville have been shredded to pieces, with rows of homes left in ruins and downed power lines turning streets into dangerous labyrinths.
Just a really scary scene there. Officials say at least 24 people have died in that storm. Storm Track meteorologist Guy Brown joins us now to tell us what made this tornado so deadly.
Well, the intensity of this tornado was powerful. The damage was surveyed by the National Weather Service in Nashville, Tennessee, as an EF3 tornado with wind speeds up to 165 miles per hour. But tornado intensity is actually not the #1 reason why they're so deadly. It boils down to the time of day the mesocyclone occurs and the topography of the environment. In this case, the supercell struck at night while many were sleeping. Also in Tennessee, you have to factor in many tall trees that could obstruct your view of seeing the vortex, compared to a classic supercell in Oklahoma where you can see the vortex from miles away due to the lack of trees. One more fact, when you get far east from the Rockies, and Wisconsin included, we get something called high precipitation supercells. This can produce rain-wrapped tornadoes, which can even hinder your sight of the vortex during the daytime. Rebecca?
All right, thanks for explaining that, Guy. Now, this little boy was trapped by downed wires outside his home after the tornadoes. Firefighters had to rush to rescue him, carrying him to safety. Later, the boy and his rescuer were reunited.
It was pretty scary, though, right?
Yes, sir.
But I'm very proud of you. Pleasure.
Yes, sir.
A Middleton native was among those walking through the rubble in Tennessee. He says the twister came without warning early yesterday morning, and he feels lucky to live a mile away from where it touched down. Now he says his focus is finding a way to help.
But it seems like everyone that I know is just dropping everything and rallying around it.
He tells 27 News he plans to spend much of this week volunteering at cleanup events throughout the city to help his neighbors recover.
27 News WKOW. Here's what's happening right now.
Fighter jet worries the problems that could come to Madison if a squadron of new jets gets based nearby.
And lawmakers are busy at the state capitol as the end of session looms. I have you covered on how their actions today will affect your wallet.
And caregiver crisis, the steps that are addressing a critical shortage of workers in the Badger State. 27 News Time is 5:42. It's time for your morning rush.
The Senate is expected to vote on whether to allow additional witnesses in President Trump's impeachment trial today. Last night, a key senator announced that he would be voting against the measure, making it highly likely the Senate will vote no. A vote on whether to acquit the president could also happen today if they vote against witnesses.
The World Health Organization is declaring the coronavirus a global health emergency. The U.S. State Department is advising everyone not to travel to China. And this comes as the Centers for Disease Control reports the first person-to-person case of coronavirus in the United States. They say a Chicago man in his 60s contracted the virus from his wife, who recently returned from China. That makes him the 6th confirmed case of the virus in the U.S. Doctors say both are in the hospital, but in stable condition.
Happening today, Watertown Catholic School will be back open. School officials confirmed that on Facebook. It was closed for the last 3 days because of so many sick calls from students and staff, a lot of them reporting they had the flu.
27 News Time is 5:42. It's time for your morning rush.
Police say they shot and killed a suspect last night in Wauwatosa. This happened at the Mayfair Mall. Police say it happened during a call for a disturbance. When they arrived, they say a group of people ran away and one of them had a gun. During that chase, an officer shot one of the suspects. Police have not released any names yet, but they did say the officers involved have been put on administrative leave until that investigation is complete.
The number of coronavirus cases in the U.S. jumped over the weekend. Officials say there are now 11 confirmed cases across the nation. There have been more than 17,000 people infected with coronavirus worldwide, resulting in over 350 deaths. The first death outside of China was also reported. That was in the Philippines.
Wisconsin's 2020 spring primary is February 18th, but you can vote early in the city of Madison right now. You can vote absentee at Madison Public Library starting today. Then next Monday, that expands to include Edgewood College, Madison College, and many UW locations. Voting at the City of Madison Clerk's office started January 27th.
New this morning, the Better Business Bureau is warning people about tax scams. Most people groan about filing their taxes, but for a con artist, it can be a chance to steal your return. All a scammer needs is your Social Security number. The BBB also says to be aware of IRS imposters. It says if someone calls you and demands money immediately, don't pay it.
From News 9 WAOW, this is News 9 at 5.
Arctic blast. The deadly temperatures take a toll on Wisconsin and the entire Midwest. What services are seeing the biggest hit?
Our second night in a row with wind chills getting down to 50 below zero. We're tracking it right here.
And a major deal here in Wisconsin may be changing. How it could impact the jobs promised to the Badger State.
Dangerous Arctic temperatures and winds hammer Wisconsin and the rest of the Midwest. Drifting snow creates whiteout conditions on this Minnesota highway this morning. And then take a look at this steam fog rising from the Chicago shoreline, caused by cold air temperatures moving over the warmer lake surface. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Melissa Langben.
And I'm meteorologist Tony Schumacher.
Of course, with the dangerous situation right now, we do want to get to Tony, find out what's ahead for us tonight.
Live from News 9 WAOW, this is News 9 at 5.
And then when she told me who she was, I figured she must have left in a hurry.
After 88 days, a missing Barron County teen returns home.
She looked really tired and like she's been fighting a battle for weeks.
13-year-old Jamie Kloss found alive.
Jamie has been found safe and has been reunited with her family and friends. There is truly nothing in the world better than that.
And prosecutors say this man kidnapped Jamie after he shot and killed her parents. Tonight, we have live team coverage of the dramatic turn of events.
It has been 88 days of hope for her safe return, 88 days of prayers for Jamie, her family, friends, our students, staff, and community, 88 days of our close-knit community with the same goal in mind. and that was to bring Jamie home and back into our arms.
I mean, Jamie is the hero in this case. There's no question about it.
Almost 3 months after her disappearance, Jamie Kloss finally returns home. Thanks for joining us. I'm Melissa Langben. Now, the teen found just 70 miles north of her Barron County home. Right now, officials say that she is talking, smiling, and communicating with their team. She's also been reunited with family members today. Just about an hour ago, we did learn that police recovered a gun consistent with the one that was used at the crime scene. They say the suspect, Jake Thomas Patterson, shot open the door at the Kloss home before shooting and killing James and Denise Kloss. Investigators now saying he went to the home with the specific intention of kidnapping Jamie. The 13-year-old escaped yesterday. Police arrested him after Jamie escaped. He was not home at the time, but was apparently out looking for Kloss at the time of his arrest. And we are learning more about the man accused of kidnapping Jamie. Investigators say the 21-year-old is from Gordon, Wisconsin, and right now he is in the Barron County Jail. The sheriff says Patterson is being held on 2 counts of homicide for the murder of Jamie's parents and 1 for kidnapping Jamie. He is scheduled to appear in court on Monday afternoon. And we now know Patterson allegedly shaved his head to avoid leaving hair at the scene. Police say he had no apparent connection to the family, although he did work at the same company as Jamie's parents for 1 day 3 years ago. Patterson went to school in Washburn County. A former classmate who did not want to be named told our affiliate in Superior that Patterson was a quiet kid and no one really heard from him. After high school graduation, the classmate went on to say Patterson basically vanished. Of course, as you can imagine, a very emotional day as Barron County officials there released details about Jamie's escape from her alleged abductor. We've got you covered tonight from her disappearance to her escape. But first, let's get right out to News 9's Victoria Saha. She is live in Barron County with a look at how rescuers found Jamie. Victoria.